Welcome to the So Nigerian podcast.
Sir,
If you are new here,
Happy
New Year. This is a new year. So
this is what 14th.
yeah, we are seeing the new year now. We are seeing the new year now.
When I was coming, I was seeing people with decorations, Christmas decorations, still on their walls. And I'm like,
No, we are seeing the new year. So if you are new year, if you brought a new subscriber, so if you are a new subscriber, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, welcome to the So Nigerian podcast.
Yes, sir.
And today, God, guess you have to do.
My mouth is heavy.
God, our mouth wants to break.
My mouth is heavy.
Because we have the OG before I
OG. See, serious OG.
see.
I'm in awe.
TV host, storyteller, media mogul,
Media
author.
mogul.
You don't say media mogul. You don't say media guy. You just say media mogul.
Not media enthusiast. Not media entrepreneur. I will never... Media mogul.
Podcast OG.
OG.
Anything in the media space, we brought him here today. We have Chude Jideonwo.
You are not telling that today.
You are
not telling that
today. But it's good to see you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for gracing us with your
Thanks
presence.
for having me.
Yes.
You know, I'm a fan of the podcast. Let's just say it on the podcast. I'm a fan of the podcast. A fan of the podcast since 2020.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you, fan of the podcast since 2020. You know, you guys have made my Joy 150 list once like that. Because you guys,
Are you serious?
yes.
That's crazy.
We appreciate
But man, I'm always watching you, but I never knew that you used to.
No, a huge fan. Huge fan.
It's so good to have you here. Do you want to introduce yourself? Have you said everything?
I think you said everything.
No, please do the intro, please.
No, it's just to let Duke. This is what we want to just tell your audience that this is they should not be panicked that this is now going to be so serious. I promise you, it's going to be like, well, I can't promise you because you're the ones answering the questions.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like the normal So Nigerian podcast because what I wanted to have is a So Nigerian experience.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not for a long time.
Yeah.
Because people didn't start audio until much video
Video.
much later. So I thought you guys were based abroad. And so I would Google and then you'd only
God, from his mouth to your ears.
and then he would only put like your first names
Yeah.
at that time. So I
Find
was
those.
to find who are these guys. So
Yeah.
when you came out, I'm like, oh, so those are the guys.
Yeah.
So yes. But you said it all. You know, we've done a lot of things. I've worked in the media for this is my 26th year.
Wow.
And I've only done media in my life. I've never imported rice. I've never done Yahoo consciously. So I've only done media for all my life. So intro is on point.
That's impressive. And you even have like, I think recently just from researching you wrote a book, How Depression Saved My Life.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm going to dive into that later on into
Yes.
the episode.
Yeah.
But there's something we always do on this episode on our podcast is sort of like a call to action song.
Right.
You know, and all I just need to say is gay. That's all you need to say.
Yes, I'm aware.
And so
I can't believe we're starting the new. We're bringing this into the new.
I know that you are a man of many things, including media,
Yes.
and I know that music too will be in your forte. so you can add vocals, you can
Small.
you know. So have you subscribed?
Gay.
Have you liked?
Gay.
Have you commented?
Gay.
Have you followed?
Gay.
Thank you.
The bars. No, Don Jazz is coming for you. He'll sign you. You have to sign you.
Bro, one of the things I even want to, before we even dive into the episode, like I want to just give you a serious accolade because I feel like one of the things you always do in your interviews, and like we were speaking off air, and we were like, everybody like Chude, all this very, very serious, like serious guest, serious everything. And then until Isaac actually opened my eyes, I'm like, oh, you know, and even just like doing research prior to this episode, I'm like, the other guests, you're not just a very serious person and everything.
They don't just cry on this show. They do. I have so much fun with so many people. My favorite interviews are even the Afrobeat interviews. Because first time, Afrobeat guys, you can never get them to cry.
Yeah, the hard guys.
That's not what they are.
Yeah.
So I have such a blast with them. You know, I was telling you, Belashmoda, Black Bones, Magix, Mayokun.
Yeah.
You know, all these guys. When they come, the thing they say at the end is, I had so much fun. I got the thing say your show, na serious show. I said, Black Bones finished. I was like, let me say, make a come here, quick and serious. Because he first said, he wanted to bring alcohol inside. So he was saying, I'm so sorry. I said, what is it? He said, let me bring 5 pounds. I'm like, first of all, leave this, sir. outside the door. It's like, I want to bring a call. I'm like, bring it. He's like, are you serious? Because they told me you will never say no. I said, if that was going to make you talk. So you had this red cup throughout the interview. And I'm like, and we vibe. And like 40% of the show is that. But those are not the ones that the blogs carry. Which is okay.
Yeah,
I mean, at least carry for something.
long as they're carrying you.
Long as they're carrying you.
That's the thing. And
but the idea of the show is to have conversations with people, just to have interesting conversations about the things that matter deepest to them, yes. But sometimes it's happy moments, sometimes it's success. It's not all sadness. It's not all of that.
But I have to give you a flower shout because the Nigerian audience is more, they like fun stuff and all that. But like you still have your audience with like the perception that your stuff is just serious stuff. So that's really...
I remember when somebody told me that my show was... When I started the show, I thought I was going to fail on podcasts because I was listening to podcasts and this is not even what the podcast audience was listening to. So I'm like, this is going to fail. So then somebody called me, told me, oh, well done, O'Shea, number top 10 podcasts. I'm like, top 10 podcasts where? It's like on Apple. I'm like, what? That's the first time.
You didn't even used to check.
I'm like, I was so sure that it was not going to work on podcasts. Nobody's going to listen to it. It is too serious. What are you here for?
Wow. The thing is, I think, and those days, like 2020, 2021, when we first like were kind of new, Apple Podcast, I used to check it almost daily. I won't even lie to you, and I was always seeing with Chude. I remember that your yellow, this thing there, yellow covers, it was always there, with Chude. I said, we're very, very few then, 2020 that were on podcast. So like, as opposed to when 2023 was a rise and boom and everybody started having the podcast, I always see with Chude, I always see like, it might always just wonder like, even your guest list, like your clientele, I'm just like, which guy is an OG?
You know the OG. Like, he has gotten, like, don't worry, like, people in top of their industries and their fields, like, everybody, like, you've spoken to the OGs of all the OGs. Like, it's always mind-blowing.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, it's always mind-blowing.
Have you ever had an interview that you were, like, nervous about before?
Oh, yes. I'm constantly nervous.
Even till now?
Even till now. Because
were you nervous for it?
See, I'm nervous here because first of all, I'm a very competitive person. So, I was talking in an interview yesterday, I was like, so I'm a very spiritual person, but it doesn't mean I'm not competitive. We are still in a human body. I still want to be I still want to do well. So for instance, when I'm coming on this podcast, my thing is that you have an audience.
Yeah.
Your audience, people like your audience, they're like, what's the word I used to? I beg. So somebody's listening, I'm like, this one is too serious. That's serious. Let's move on. So the pressure for me is to work with you to give a show
to our audience.
To your audience. And the audience will be engaged. So that's anxiety. I don't need to be panicking and be shaking. That's anxiety because I do want them to enjoy the episode because I'm a fan of the show. So I don't want to come and ruin the vibe. So that's that. On my show, interviews as well, because sometimes I'm afraid about three things. One, I'm afraid that because I ask probing questions, I'm afraid not to spook the guest. Do you understand? So you don't ask the guest a question and the guest will be so panicked by it, the guest shuts down.
Have you had guests that have actually to send the questions?
Oh, yes. I have only done it once. I never do that generally because even I don't know the question and they think I'm lying.
Are you serious?
They think I'm lying. Two things I don't do, I was saying, because we had already gisted before the show started. I don't see my guests on.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
They are seated in front of me. So thank God most of them have not been upset by that. But one has worked out. One big Nollywood actor, he's not my uncle. But so my producer ran in and said, he's going. I'm like, who is going?
You hadn't even started recording at the time?
No, when I started recording, he was in the waiting room. And so I saw him walk it down. So I ran, Uncle, I'm also Nigerian, so I know I'm so Nigerian. So I know how to do this. I'm like, Uncle. So he stopped. He's like, okay, this is a well-trained young man. So I thought, he said, how can I be sitting down here and you cannot even come and say hello? Do you know the people that have interviewed me? So I said, I'm so sorry, sir. No, it's not like that, sir. It's because if I sit down with you, I will start talking to you. By the time we come on the set, it will not be awkward.
Yeah, because everything you want to say, you said it.
I said it. So that's usually, so I don't see my guests before they come on. I really forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I was trying to explain things about how I get nervous. But I don't see my guests before I sit down with them on the show.
Yeah. And you don't send them questions?
Yes, we're asking them questions. I don't send them questions because I don't know the questions. So I do my research. But I like to have fun doing the show. If I plan the questions ahead, it will no longer be fun. It will not be that I have to now walk I have to follow the
the flow.
of the
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
But one of the interesting things that I have is I'm always excited to see what the first question I will ask is when the show starts.
It sets its tone.
Yes. I'm always excited to say, oh, is it that question? Should it be this question? What's the vibe? What energy is the person going to bring? And then again, that even now leads to anxiety because you're like, am I even asking the wrong
Right.
question? I had a guest on my show who big Afrobeat star. So I said to this guest, I don't want to say that it's a man or a woman. I said, honest question. I'm like, so it looks like your career went down at some point. This is a good question. And then it went up again. She's
Just say her name.
never. The person said, it is your own career that went down.
Are you serious?
And I just continued as if nothing happened. So it was later my producer was like, you're a pro. You just went ahead. I'm like, but I'm the one that invited her now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's clear. So when I say I'm panicked about people freezing, it's that kind of thing because I didn't expect her to be upset, but she was upset.
Yeah, that's one thing about Nigerians. Like they are quick to misinterpret things because you might think that question was in bad faith, right? But I mean, it's this thing. So, but I want to ask though, like, what was you said you've been in media for 26 years.
Yeah.
So what was it like from the job, and what brought you into media space?
So because I'm look back at my life, and I was always in love with the media, just like how you were talking about listening to other podcasts. Like when I was my first paid job, I got it as a TV host called Fumi Yonda, who is I think the greatest.
Yeah, that's Anoji.
The greatest TV host of all time.
That's Anoji.
And she said she gave me my first job because she said I was a couch potato. So what happens was that when I sat down with her on her show, I knew all the TV shows in Nigeria. I was watching all the talk shows. You know, everybody on every station. At that time, there was AIT, DBN, MBI,
Silverbird.
NCAs. I don't think Silverbird had even really started at the time. They were still on Rhythm, the radio station. So I knew, and now that I think of it, I loved talk shows. So I would wake up in the morning, I would go from AM Express to New Dawn, from New Dawn to MITV Live. That was my life. And then I knew all the columnists, newspapers. All of like I would know this person. Whoa. I would know what they wrote. Even till now, when I meet some of them, I say, "Oh, I used to read. There was this column you wrote when I was in JS3."
You actually remember?
I actually remember. So I wanted to be in the media, and then, but I didn't know I was going to do it as a career. I thought I was going to be an accountant simply because I wanted to make money. And I thought, because I grew up in too much poverty, I'm like, no, this is not going to be the future. And even when I decided I was going to work in the media, I thought I was going to work in an advertising agency because I thought these were the only people in the media that were making
money.
But I joined the press club in SS1. And I was so happy to join the press club. I became so happy to join the press club. I was writing 3 articles per day. So one day, Mr. Tete, the head of the press club, calls me to his office and the vice principal and all that of there. And he said, I have to stop writing so much. And he said, because they suspect that it must be affecting my grades. And I'm like, it's not affecting my grades. I'm doing well.
Was it being published in like the school?
On the notice board.
Oh, that's
yes.
good.
And then ultimately in the magazine Matrend. And so we had to now go and get my results. I had to go and get my results to show them that over the past 1 year, my grades had been better. In the truth, if I was having B's, even not because of the press club, I probably would have been having A's. But that was a perfect trade-off. So that's how I...
you enjoyed press club. I hated people in press club.
Really?
Not like I hated.
But you should hate us, actually. You should hate us. Because I used to use it to pepper my seniors.
Yeah, press club.
Yes.
I remember they actually used to publish weekly. There's always like weekly something. Notice board was always, that's something that was a thing. So you're the first person I'm actually hearing speak fervently about press club.
I love press club.
I feel like press club people after secondary school they actually like forgot their lives of press club.
Actually, let me say yes. What I called the best writer when I was in secondary school, he's no longer even writing at all. So I think press clubs and literary and debating societies were like the cool clubs.
Yeah.
And people really just joined them because they were the cool clubs.
Yeah.
But I just see like from your story, you can just tell how much of a foundation it was.
Yeah, so I think that from your own point of view, so it's a Nigerian, it's the fault of the Nigerian education system because these clubs are actually built for like to build talent and all that, right? Jet Club and all those things, right? But people just do it just because, not because like they know that, okay, you can build something from here. But he used it to build something for himself.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never heard anybody say press club was their foundation. It's like when music artists say I was in the choir.
In the choir,
It doesn't happen
It's
with
the first person hearing that.
You're right, actually. I've never heard anybody say that as
You
well.
know, like nobody really talks about press clubs. So
Yes, that's
like,
true. But it was my foundation. So by the time I came out of school, again, I studied law in Unilag. So I didn't even think I was going to practice journalism until I got my first job, live on TV. So you know DJOB?
Yeah.
His dad was one of the biggest TV presenters
Yes,
in Nigeria, Dr. Olivia Jideonwo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so so I had written a book, my first book, when I was in secondary school. And he invited, so I met him. He was very warm to me. So he put me on his show. And then live on, so like we're just in here. Imagine that there's a 14-year-old here. And then live on TV, Dr. Olivia Jideonwo says, oh, this guy, and there was no live audience, but he used to do this thing, he would talk to the camera as if it's a live audience.
Yeah.
And he said, guys, this young man is so intelligent. I think we should give him a segment of this show. What do you think? Chido, you're now a youth presenter.
Just like that.
Just like that. So that's how my career started.
Just like that.
Just like that. At the age of 15 or 16.
Damn.
Yeah. I didn't even think it was legal to work at the age of 15. So that's how the career started.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But had you guys had prior conversations before then?
No. So let me tell you how I met him. It's a good story. My mother is a pastor in Mountain of Fire. So Mountain of Fire has this thing called deliverance. So it's a 1 week thing, 3 days dry fasting, not breaking at 7. So 3 days, no food, no drink. And if you know MFM now, the way we pray is we shake our heads, we stamp our feet, we vomit eggs. And so I was praying in the deliverance session. I look back and I see Dr. Olivia Jideonwo also shaking his head. So I'm just like, I tell my mom was me. I was like, Mommy, he's one of the people I want to go on his show and talk to my mom. She said, go and meet him now. I'm like, I just said, go and meet him. So I walk up to him, I give him a copy of the book. He says, okay, he will read it and he'll get back to me. I think GSMs had just come to Nigeria that time. So he took my number, 08231 001 6797.
You remember your number from way back?
I just remembered it now. And then he called me later and said, oh, this is such a good book. You're such a talented young man. Come over to the show. So me coming, no. He told me to come and see him at his office. He had an office in Surrey. So I went to see him at the office. He told me, oh, he liked the book. He wanted to know whether I really was the one that wrote the book. So he was just asking me questions about the book. He's like, you are so mature. In fact, I just remembered that. But we didn't discuss anything about the job. I don't think he knew that he was going to offer me a job. Yeah. So he's just live on TV. And maybe he had already been looking for a youth segment host. But just live on TV, just gave me a job for the first time. I had no inkling. I even thought he was capping. Like just things you say on TV. They say, oh, you are supporting young people. Yeah. After it...
like, you know, as Nigerian elder thing.
Yeah. So after it, I just thought he's going to be like, well done. And I wasn't going to hold it against him. Like, he already tried. He already hyped me. So that's how I got my first job. And I did that for about 2-3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's inspiring, man. Because me, one thing that I've learned from this story is be audacious, right? Because I've met a lot of my idols, right? And I just, from far, do you get? And I think that thing has... will I say, because I saw a tweet this morning about realizing you have potential and then knowing that you're not there yet. And then realizing that you've had opportunities to meet that potential, but like you said, it's crazy that you're saying this story because as a young person in Nigeria, like I don't think like we all have the balls to approach people and say, oh, this is, and then you even give them your number and all that. It's very crazy. But like, let me ask, have you always had that confidence, and or does it, like, was it part of your upbringing?
In addition to what it's the question, and I also feel like that's something that everybody can relate to. You know, obviously, like if Isaac and I go out and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to get this person on the podcast, you know, I'll say, yeah, Isaac, let's go. He's much more like, yeah, you go. You go, yes. And obviously, like, so many things about, like, okay, first time impression. Oh, hi, I'm Dami, I'm also So Nigerian. Half of them, most of them don't really know. And
they don't really
you know. Podcast, so, but then it just shows, obviously, like, there's that breaking the ice and just, like, moving up the space in confidence and obviously, like, approaching and having... Your mom was like, go and meet him. Go and meet him. And you're like, bruh, if I was 40, I die.
I would tell my mom to go out with him.
Yes.
So all those things are obviously like things that, you know, hinders a lot of young people. So, so is it like a personality thing or is it something you need to develop?
I'm a shy person. So up until this year, I just deleted it in the new year. this thing you said about meeting guests, I had a script on my phone, even with how popular I am, of what to say when I meet a guest. So if I see a guest, I'll look at it on the phone. I'll be like, good morning, my name is Chude. I'm the host of the Chude podcast. I'm sure, of course, that you know it. So even if you don't know it, you'll be like, oh, of course I know it. So I have a script. So I'm a shy person. People don't believe that. And I remember when I went to meet Obi Kubana, he's now my friend, but I met him on a flight. I saw him on a flight. We were both in a class on the flight. And I'm like, so I'm just like, should I stand up and go and meet Obi Kubana? I'm like, no, now that's too much now. And then so I left. So I looked at my script. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, when we come down from the flight, Chude, you better do it. Because my producers have been trying to get him and they didn't have the number. So I walk up to him. I'm sure this is the first time he's hearing it. I'm like, good afternoon, Odogu.
You said Odogu.
Odogu. I'm a Nigerian person now. Good afternoon, Odogu. My name is Chude Jideonwo. Who said, I know your show.
Are you serious?
Like, the Lord has done it finally.
No need for scripts.
No need for scripting. And we fixed it. And I interviewed him in his home in the UK. Wow. So I'm a shy person. But what my mother was trying to teach me, because my mother is a shy person, is that, like Christians say, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So my mother was training me not to make the same mistakes that she did. Do you understand? So that's what I learned through my life. I hate asking people for things. And I hate hearing no. Like there are people that if they just hear no, they move on with their lives.
I'm like that. I can't lie.
You deliberate on it.
Right? Me, if I hear no, I'll be like, why did he say no? Did I ask in a wrong way? Should I not have asked? Did I do something wrong? So I hate asking because I'm like, a no can lead me into a spiral. I mean, that's gotten better as I get older.
Yeah.
And then confidence doesn't come naturally to me. Now I'm confident, but I'm the kind of person that got confident because I have accomplished things. So my accomplishments are the ground of my confidence. But as a young person, when I didn't have anything, I was so insecure and so non-confident. And I'm still shy. But I've now learned that no, because if I hadn't walked up to Obi Kubana, I wouldn't have done it. If I don't walk up to people, I won't get it. So I've learned that there's no... And I want to do big things in the world. So if I wanted to just be a teacher, a farmer, which is a legitimate thing, then that's fine. I can not open my mouth. But if I want to do important things, I have to open my mouth.
I think my own mentality is, what's the words I can't for you? Say no, like I'll move on, as opposed to both of you.
Yes,
I'm
just like you. I can't even like. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't even walk up to people. Yeah, because like if there's a response we give that like it will set me back like so much.
And the thing is, even people that are listening right now, it affects lots of people. Like, it's something that's very, very rampant. So people just be like, bro, like. Do you understand? Like, this no will set me back in my mind mentally. Like, this no will send me to depression.
Yes.
I hear this no.
Yes.
Do you understand? But me, I'm like, I've met so many guests. Even some, they will even tell you no, but they'll tell you no in different ways. Oh, somebody told me I've come on my show. My mouth is paining me. There's nothing I've not heard. There's nothing I've not heard. Yes, and somebody will tell me, I don't really do like interview. And you just see them next month.
That's what I was about to say. Like there was actually one, like, and this one, like, we have a relationship, right? So I come on my show, and then he's like, he's not into podcasts, blah, blah. And then like some months after, he's on another person's podcast. So I started thinking, like, is there something wrong? Is there something we're not doing?
You understand?
Like, and he set me back. But
I had to train myself to realize that because I was on, so it still happens because that's my personality type. Yeah, I think they call it anxious, preoccupied. The personality type. With a little bit of melancholy. But I realized later that people, it's not, most of the things that people do is not about me. Like 90% of their reactions is about them, what they are going through in their life, their relationships. So sometimes you have a guest who he really didn't want to do podcasts, but he met somebody he couldn't say no to. And if I personalize it, I would think it's about me when it's not about me at all. I've had people who said no. I remember when Frank Edo came on my show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire last year. I said, I thought you hated me. He says, no, man, no. You don't say you today ask deep questions.
And he doesn't want to answer deep questions.
So I needed to be ready. Now I'm ready. Let's go. Even Daddy Freeze, who I've been trying to get for like 3 years, came last year. Then when he started and said, you know what? Ask anything. Anything. Yes, but he said, I wasn't ready yet. So I realized that it's not about me. it's maybe they're 10%, but because of my mind will think 90% is about people are going through things in their life. Their wife broke up with them. They saw an interview. They just don't know. So I'm like, when that feeling comes, I process it. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm a great guy. Even if I did something wrong to you, I'm a human being now. I cannot be perfect. Let's move on. That's what I tell myself constantly if something like that hurts me, because I can't be going around carrying other people's baggage in my own.
Exactly.
People like him are blessed because this is the way to be in life.
Yeah.
To
Just
dust it off.
Just let it go.
But
Honestly,
I guess if there are not people like us, we'll not have Burna Boy now.
exactly.
Because you can see that Burna Boy is like us. He internalizes everything.
Carry it in his
He carried it for
mind.
like 9 years. Then we use it to sing a hit song. So we all have our uses in this world.
nah, man, because I'm just like, and I feel like everybody listening, I feel like if you're similarly to like Chude and Isaac, I feel like they can do your script technique, I'm actually adopt that script technique.
I'll actually do that.
The funny thing, one time, like, I used to like go on, I'll see people that tweet our podcast and then I'll message them. Like, I had like a premeditated script.
Yes.
Like, I see you listen to podcasts.
Yes.
Check out So Nigerian, that kind of
Love
thing.
it, love
So I'm not thinking, I might adapt this one of, okay, when I'm outside and I see like people that have been wanting to come on the show, I think that, I'm actually just do this, hi, I'm Dami, Usually I just do like, my usual thing I just do, hi, hello, compliment them or something. I have like, just kind of like, I obviously by compliment you, obviously like, I think
Open up,
and you be much more listening. And then I obviously also make sure I look decent and approachable and everything. And then laugh, smile with them. He said, I even know the podcast. He's glad to see you. The Ask What's podcast about. I have a premeditated answer for that one. so all of these things, I think preparation and just like you said, there's something that you mentioned that is stuck to me is obviously like there's a level of accomplishments that you'd reach that it will build confidence. And, I feel like that's something that I even need to add to the scripts.
Exactly.
Maybe if you add your accomplishments,
Exactly.
else,
Yes.
people
Because sometimes you say, yes, you say So Nigerian, they don't know it's a top podcast. They
You
literally
understand?
don't know the chart.
Yeah.
So we say, it's one of the top X podcasts in the country. They will first pay attention. Do you understand?
Fact.
You have to. I remember I was doing a pitch. That's why Americans rule the world. I was doing a pitch to somebody for something, and the lady inside wanted me to get the grant. She said, Chude, I know you're a humble person. Please, you're dealing with Americans.
Talk your talk.
There's no time for humility. Please list out all your achievements. And when I had that permission, I went to town on the call. I was so, because usually I would be so, even talking about my achievements, it's funny. But that call, I'm like, you are going to get it today. Yeah, but accomplishments make it easy. They are the ground. People that don't need accomplishments are lucky because confidence is a gift. I have my co-founder, Debola Williams. That's how I knew I was going to be a partner with him. He could talk to anybody, anywhere. Anybody, anywhere. We became friends. Then I knew I was going to run a business with him because that time we were like 16, 15, 17 or whatever. He would walk into events. So we'll have only one ticket. He would tell me, don't worry, take the ticket. I'll be like, well, sir, when I'll meet you inside there. Then he would enter without a ticket constantly. I'm like, I need this guy.
He has the audacity.
Yeah, but those of us, if you have accomplishments, whatever it is that can help you build confidence, use it.
Yeah.
This life needs confidence.
Another thing that I always wanted to say, like, this one is just like talking as brothers.
Yes.
People say in this accomplishment, people say fake it till you make it. Like,
Yes.
if you not fake accomplishments,
So
you have those accomplishments.
my first job. So I don't fake it because
No, I'm saying like that's something.
I get what you mean. I went to
Yeah.
explain. I don't, but I remember that once I did. But it was a small thing. I got my first job out of university, Virgin Nigeria. It was a manager position, and I wanted that flex. I wanted to be able to say on So Nigerian podcast in 20 years that my first job after university was a manager job. So I'm like, we have to get this job. So they asked on the job, so can you use Excel? I'm like, oh, of course. Of course. I have never opened an Excel sheet in my life. But what I did immediately after was I went and learned Excel. Do you understand? So I say that, Richard Branson is one of the apostles of fake it till you make it. He actually wrote it in his book, How I Lost My Virginity. So I take an amoral stance on it. As long as if the faking it is in the storytelling, I don't have an issue with it. Even though I don't do it. I've done it once in my life. I don't have an issue with it. Because sometimes people cannot see, and narratives can obstruct your ability for people to see what you can do. The one I have an issue with is if you fake it in doing it. Do you understand? If you say you can do something and you don't want to learn how
then you mess it up.
Then you mess it up. That's where I have an issue. But in this life, you know, sometimes you just need a foot in the door. And not everybody can, even job interviews. Not everybody's good at job interviews. But you have to be good at job interviews. So sometimes I'm just like, you know, I can understand why a person will say something. Yeah. My first editor, we had a magazine called Y Magazine. My first editor came to the interview with a car that was not his own. And lied that it was his car. For no reason. He's now a top CEO. I thought for no reason, but I realized later that the perception that he was the kind of guy that had a car factored into our hiring him for an editorial position. I didn't know it at the time, but later it's pushed him.
But how did you not figure out it was his car?
Because later when he started working, I he told the truth. No, when we left the office, we saw him in the car parked on the road. So he now said that what happened was that the person in the car who gave him the car didn't tell him that the car is not a functional car. So as he left the office, the car broke down. So he said, this is a big story. He said he saw us coming, so it's a long street. So he said he saw me coming. That's why he entered the car. Because he thought if this man sees him, open it was just a funny story. But I realized later that that's one of the things that
subconsciously.
Yes, I realized later that so it would have been unfair for me to judge him for faking it. But when he came in, he did the job. So on that, I'm like, do what works. But when it now comes to the doing, make sure that you can deliver what you said you will deliver.
Yeah, I think similarly to what Otedola said in his book about that person that he came with a smaller car.
He came with a smaller car too.
And because of the car that he came with, Otedola
reduced
the money.
And that's why I like that Otedola's book, because it was very honest.
Yeah. It's really just the Nigerian thing, because even what's his name? Aki Alabi has this book, How to Sell to Nigerians.
Yes.
He said there are meetings where he would rent white people to just be there so that whoever he's preaching to will see that there's a white person on this team, or that means they are not small. Do you? So it's a Nigerian thing.
It's a Nigerian thing.
Really.
It's a Nigerian thing. I remember that. So it's like we just like show. You have to show. It's like for 100%. A long time. I love. So people used to say, oh, because I've done accomplished all these things in my life. So when I started doing the podcast, people call me a podcaster. People around me will be annoyed, but you're not a but I'm a podcast. Like, it's like I love that title. I created a podcast, but I never realized what they were saying later, because Nigerians will just dismiss all the other accomplishments because of this. And I'm like, we need to build a society where the quality of the work matters. You know, where it's not, I don't need to tell you all the other things I've done. Just the fact that my show is successful should be enough for you. I don't need to go and work hard. I don't need to win an award. I don't need to do all of these things. But unfortunately, that's the society we live in. Generally in the world, that's the world we live in. People like rankings, they like this. But Nigeria's own is now particularly bad.
I remember
you have to perform big man.
When, so I think, was it at the Grammys or so? I think Drake won an award, and then he was like, other artists, if you don't win anything this night, all these things don't matter. And then people were dragging him like, because you've won it before. But he was really making sense. Because if you have your numbers, you're making money from your streams, shows are calling you and all that, then you're good.
What is this about?
Yeah, do you get? But if you bring it to Nigerian context, you have to show.
It's a sad part of our culture. You always have to show.
But then, as long as it's part of our culture, we have to adapt and do this. You know, why I even brought up to that question is I'm just thinking of, even that accomplishment thing, confidence. There's so many people, so many in your field or so, people that are listening right now, so many things. I feel like you said, that person, your editor, how he drove, there's so many ways you can just impute it to your life. And even in one, if you want to approach somebody, now if I want to go somewhere and I say, okay, I know that important people, I'll wear agbada. I'll actually wear there's some weddings I go to a friend, this December, a friend of mine, very notable wedding, very big wedding. I wore agbada. They asked me.
Don't wonder.
Shegun Johnson was performing there, three people. They asked me, my housemate was like, let me brother of groom. I said, make me package. And I started even the Uber that I took there, I'm like I did that. You know, when you can look at the car, I kept on ordering it wasn't that Suzuki Express. Do you understand?
Yes.
I kept on ordering. I kept on reordering. I don't care if I will be late. Yes. I kept on as long as I don't.
It's a good car.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So even and it just shows. It might not be as if it just shows how obviously the things are perceived. Like even if you want to meet somebody, all those things, like you have to obviously like create a kind of like illusion that you are not subpar.
Yes.
So that you can just help people, let's say, rate you or like consider you.
Yes.
And those are the things that, everybody has to take in their journey of success. Like you said, you're subconscious at some point.
Yes, judge people based on that.
Do you understand? So like everything is it just tallies in like being a young person in Nigeria and everything.
But do we
Also,
think...
go ahead.
No, I don't know. I was like, do you think people can go extreme on
That's
that?
what I wanted to answer. And I thought that's what you were going to ask me. So the only, I always say, if you're going to, just don't make fakery your life.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. 20% fakery is okay. Like somebody say, we don't go to toilet on the streets. There's a bit of fakery. We don't say, I want to be authentic. Let me be naked on the road. We all perform to a particular extent. You cannot do this life without performing. We all prepare. When we are coming to do a podcast, we prepare. When we are going to give a speech, we prepare. Life is part performance. The challenge is that most people don't have boundaries for their performance. So, if, for instance, if you are faking that whole thing, not faking, that whole thing, the thing you were doing with the packaging you were doing with the event, as long as you didn't borrow money, you cannot repay.
Me, I genuinely love wearing agbada. So.
Exactly. So as long as you are not faking your life.
Yeah.
Because if you fake your life, you'll be unhappy. That's one of the things I've learned. If you fake your life, you'll be unhappy. If you just know that I'm doing this just a bit, it's like salt in food. If it overcomes the food, then it's no longer salt. Salt is just supposed to enhance taste a bit. But what is happening in Nigeria is because we know that there's a necessity for small performance, we make the performance the thing. That's why there's so many, let me tell you, the number of Nigerians who are broke, I mean, we know them in our own personal lives, who are performing, is so much because we're a show society, so people don't know how to just do small. Just do small. And remember what I said, the small is not that you are lying about your life. The small is that you are creating a narrative that will enable your goals. But your goal cannot be to be all narrative. Your goal must be use narrative to build substance. Don't let your life be overcome by a narrative. It will not be sustainable. You will eventually be found out. And secondly, you will not be happy. You will not, it will be like, you will not be happy.
Genuinely inside of you.
You can't. Because let me tell you, as I say, if you buy a car to go and impress someone, I always joke. This is what I think. Music reflects culture. So you see all our musicians, if you don't get money, don't trust the babe, etc. Then 4 years later, they've divorced the babe. Or they've broken up and they are both opening their... It's because this guy literally thought that the way to win a woman's heart
was through money.
Is through money. Now, he got some women, because the kind of women you win through money, I'm not even sure those are the kind of women you really want, or men.
Yeah, vice versa. Yeah.
So they get the woman, money, after a few years, the woman is tired of the performance. Money cannot replace kindness, generosity, loyalty. So the woman might come for the money, or the man might come for the money, but then she stays or he stays for you. So you can't, so that's what they get disappointed. They discover that, it is not money, they get heartbroken. People are not loyal. It's because all the time you should have spent building your character, building your personality. You spent it all building a perception. And perceptions are tools. They are not the reality. They are the things that help you build your reality. So that's the challenge in Nigeria. So I tell people, I'm curious to see. This is not shade, or maybe it is. I'm curious to see what we discover after this wave of showing in the creator universe is done. Creators who are having to fake it, people who are having to fake it. After 5 years, I've been here for 25 years, I've seen it all. The musicians that were the top musicians, who we thought were making money without...
Let's hear you.
I remember going to somebody's house. The person did the housewarming. So this is my house when I bought it, etc. When I was in my teens, because I just started my career. Big is... Only for me to later find out that the landlord pursued him from the house 8 years after. And I know that he told me, today when you grow, when you build your career, etc. And I'm like, all that energy he spent building a perception for me, he should have used it to be saving and investing. Do you understand? Because I'm still here. If he had focused on the substance rather than the perception. He only needed to wait 8 years. For the substance to build, to grow up. To value. But most of us, one of the biggest advice I've gotten is that today is not tomorrow. Now, it sounds simple, but you think of your life today. People don't respect me today. I have
Yeah.
to show them, no, wait, calm down. Hold on.
They will see me.
They will see you.
They will see
You know,
me.
and life is not running anywhere. We are all going to be here.
Yeah.
You disappear for a bit, you go and work on it, you show up. But we are so eager to show. I'm like, even if you want to show off, just be calm. I'm not even saying don't show off. It's okay. All of us cannot be.
Show off within your means.
And then build so that you can actually show off later.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's just that today is not tomorrow. If you think in long terms, Jeff Bezos says something very powerful. He says, do not think about things that change in life. Don't plan your life based on things that change. Plan your life based on things that don't change. Because the things that change will pass. But if you're building it's like till we die. Kwan One is going to be singing at all the rich kids' weddings,
Yeah.
birthday parties. KSA is going to be singing. Whenever I want to do national Nigerian event, we'll call Timmy Dakolo. There are people.
There are people that steady.
And then they were not the hottest. They were not the hottest when they started their careers. They were not. But the ones that were doing that have
Gone.
the exhaust has exhausted. So they have no, they don't have any, there's a Yoruba say, Oti Remo. The performance has exhausted them. And there's no more energy left to actually build.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy. It's a real
We had an episode last year with MI.
Right.
And we basically talked about like financial sustainability.
Yes,
You know, we talked about, and we asked him a question about, which one is easier, you know, breaking through or staying relevant, like staying consistent and relevant for a number of years. Emma's answer, like he obviously had thought through, and his answer ended up being staying relevant. Like, you know, that's the harder part of, you know, anything. You can get people like, I get money at once, but having that money consistently, having that work consistently, doing all those things, and just sustainability in all forms, even in terms of like content creation, all these things, you know, the same Instagram influencers we did 2-3 years ago, they're not the same.
Yeah,
that
the
hot,
facts,
you know.
100%.
So like, how you even try to imagine you now go and use all your money to buy Benz or buy mansion.
and it happens a lot.
Yeah, that's
it happens a lot.
So
yeah.
you know, so there's just so much power in sustainability that people don't realize. You know, being there, looking at it, like you said, today is not tomorrow. Like actually looking at it tomorrow is very, very important. Like we don't see.
Yes.
You know, and yeah, man, there's a lot. I think you wrote a book on how depression saved my life.
Yes.
The book is here. Let me show people.
I'm telling you that I'm not serious. I'm writing a book with this title.
How depression saved my life. Obviously, like we've been talking about so many things, and I feel like even on this episode, I've learned so much from you. I've learned a lot. Even our listeners, I'm sure, even the aspect of approaching people, confidence, and all those things, I feel like it's so applicable to everybody's life. And I've not read this book yet, but obviously, like I've done my due diligence, and I just want to hear you talk about this book, because I feel like this is something that can also help young people. And,
absolutely. I wrote it. When I finished writing, I'm like, this will help a lot of young people. Essentially, this is the trajectory of the story. Like I said, I started accomplishing things young. I wrote my first book at the age of 13, just published at the age of 14. So my life was just all up from 14 to 30, just up. Yeah. If you drop the CV, Forbes 30 under 30, CNBC Young Business Leader of the Year, all of those things before I was 30.
Oh, God.
In the presence of greatness.
We're talking about packaging a few minutes ago. If they don't know, you have to let them know. But this is the point of it. So I achieved all those things, and I thought that those things were going to make me happy. And they did, but very temporarily. So I actually described a particular weekend in my book. I tried to describe the kind of life I had. 2014. 2014, I written my last book. I'd written a book then. I went to speak at an event in Denmark. I was like the main speaker. From there, I went to London the next day. I went to Denmark on Friday. Went to London on Saturday. Spoke at the TEDx Houston along with Kemi Badenoch and others. Left TEDx Houston on Saturday. Landed Nigeria on Sunday to the Future Awards, which is our event. We had Buhari there, Fashola, El Rufai, all of those.
You have So Nigerian for this.
Yes, exactly. Asha was on the stage performing. Then Olagre was on red carpet. The band performed. You know, Bonan came from South Africa to host. This was my weekend.
My crush. Bonan Mateba. Since I was young, MTV, yeah.
Makes sense now. And then 2 days later, I was depressed.
Wow.
Yes.
After everything that happened.
Because what was happening is that while I was doing all these things, I was happy because they give you a high.
Yeah.
But that happiness cannot be sustained. So that's why most people are constantly online trending. Because something happens, they feel a high. Then they go back to their lives, they feel a low.
They want
that high to continue. So I realized that it's not sustained. My life, if I depend on highs, I cannot have highs every day. So that 2014, I remember writing on my diary, I really want to begin a life. I want to begin a journey to joy. Because I realized that there must be something deeper than just these spikes in my life. How can I feel peace constantly without needing validation of other people, without letting other people affect me? So I was still thinking about this. I had not yet made any moves. So 2015, still just going, trying life. 2016, a number of things happened. I had relationship troubles. I had the rupture with one of my friends. I had a major diagnosis. Then I got my first financial crisis in my life. From 14 to 30. Like from 14 I mean up.
For the first time.
For the first time. Money wasn't coming for months. I was dipping into my savings. I always share this story. I remember one day, it turned out later that I was being dramatic because I had savings, and that's what savings are for. But I'd never touched my savings since I started saving at the age of 15. So you know what it is? For the first time, you dip savings and no new money is coming in. Remember I came home one day, this thing got me in trouble on social media. I had a chef. So people say you cannot really be broke if you had a chef. But I had not yet paid the chef that month's salary now. So you should calm down. So I had a chef. So I came home. So I'm like, so you bought food, rice, there's no meat. So I'm just like, what is this now? You left out
Meat.
the meat. He says, sir, there's no meat in the house. I'm like, it's like the world has ended. I'm like,
You never boil egg.
I said, what do you mean?
There's
no meat. He says, sir, there's no money for meat. And my ex-girlfriend was sitting down on the chair. She
was
quiet.
even in the house.
She kept quiet. Because you know, when a man's ego is
It's very awkward.
she just kept quiet. I didn't even notice her quiet because I've gone into my own world. My own is finished. So it's like, what? So I asked the third time, what do you mean there is no meat in this house? And he looked at me with pity. You know when he's just like, this man over knows.
You don't read.
Everything don't read.
And he says, sir.
Yeah, you didn't even have egg.
So then it dawned on me how broke I had become. You know? So my girlfriend finished, she went home. The next day she now sent me a pot of soup with more meat stew.
Oh, bless her.
Bless her.
Bless her.
One of my besties till date. But that's how it felt. Now, and it was then I realized that my entire identity and ego was tied to my accomplishments. So when I didn't have the accomplishments, it's like I was nobody. I was nobody. Nobody. No. So it's like, I remember looking at like, so this is how my life is going to finish in this Nigeria. And nobody can help me. So I fell into depression because of that. Because I looked into my future and I couldn't see a future.
Even after everything that you had.
After everything I had accomplished. So when people say, when a celebrity is sad and people say it's first world problems, I say there's no such thing as first world problems. When it comes to mental health, it doesn't matter what is happening in objective reality.
Yeah.
It's what is happening in your mind. When people say it's all in your mind, I'm like, but that's where the action is.
It starts from the mind.
It starts from your mind. If you are, it doesn't matter what you have. Why do people kill themselves? Why did Robin Williams kill himself? Why do people? Because it's not about, you can have, when I tell young people, I go around with speaking engagements and I say to young people, I pray that you have a house abroad, private jets, an island, the woman of your dreams. I pray you get everything you want so that you will realize quickly that it will not make you happy. So that's what I realized, that all those accomplishments could not hold me. I was depressed for 3 months, clinically diagnosed with depression. Quit my job, did everything. So it was later, in trying to climb out of that, I began to learn, oh, right, I thought that my identity was based on
these things,
yeah. I was lying to myself. I mean, not big lies, just small lies to yourself. How do you feel about yourself? You know, do you think that you're a good person? Do you think that you're a good-looking person? If you start lying, I always say, if you go to a church and you jump and shout, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, that's great. But if you get back home and you are not rich, you have to deal with that reality. That space between the lie you told yourself and your reality, that's where happiness lies. So I began to rebuild my life. And I began to rebuild my life. I quit my job as a CEO of Red Media Africa. In that process, I did all of those things. I just said, okay, now
Sorry. At this time, you had.
I was the CEO of Red Media. We had just finished doing a big campaign. We were working in 3 countries. Red Media Africa was a PR agency to 3 top banks in the country. I was balling. But it wasn't enough to hold me. So it's like, later I asked myself, how could I have had all these accomplishments and then because of a small problem, I lose my shit? I can say shit on the show.
Yeah.
I lose my shit. And I realized that means that the foundation of my life wasn't firm. That means that my relationship with myself is not strong because there are people that go through worse life challenges. Now, that doesn't mean that I will minimize the problem I went through.
Yeah.
It means that I will learn the lessons that I haven't learned. The people that will go through bigger problems and they will still maintain their equanimity. The fact that I couldn't meant something was wrong with my foundation. So I spent the rest of my life rebuilding my inner life. And this thing is not, it's not about happiness. That's why I say to you, it's not about my mental health. What people call my mental health is actually my emotional state these days. There's a difference. So let's say sadness is not a problem. Don't pathologize. You'll be sad. Sadness is not a problem. Disappointment is not a problem. Disappointment is not your mental health. Work stress is not your mental health. All those things are emotional states. That's fine. But even that, you have to learn how to get a grip of your emotional states. Learn it so that you can live a more joyful life even when trouble comes. Learn it so it doesn't even graduate into a mental health situation. Yeah, which is what happened in my case. The fact that I didn't have a firm grasp of my own self meant that when a trouble came, my mental health collapsed. Yeah, and that's a continuing crisis for someone, especially now. People don't understand how difficult life. I don't pick up my phone until 12 o'clock. Most people can do that because they work, but I don't go upstairs. I don't go to my bedroom with my phone. This all happens. People don't know. Studies have been done about this. When you wake up in the morning and you pick up your phone, you allow what 1,000 people think get into your head.
At the start of the day.
At the start of the day, before you've thought your own thoughts. It's a real problem. Now, I don't blame young people because they were born into it. It's not, they didn't even know. We just got the research data years after social media. So there's so many things that make us not identify with ourselves. Before you wake up in the morning, you've already felt envy.
Yeah.
You've already felt disappointment. Anger. Because somebody else has posted their car, LinkedIn. I signed out of LinkedIn because I left Instagram. The only social media I was using was LinkedIn. And I realized that LinkedIn is the Instagram for professionals. I'll be like, I'm grateful to God for my new opportunity. I'm just like, it's the same thing we're running for. So all of that is what made me write the book. So I had to rebuild my life. So for 3 years, I left the media business. I left business. I wanted to like myself. I began to say, why is that criticism affects me so much? Why do I need to be cool? Why do I need to do all of these things? All of those things? I spent years in what I call the wilderness, just getting to know myself. Then I came back and said, okay, I want to live a different kind of life that is on my own terms. It doesn't depend on what anybody else thinks. That's what the book is about. Not just how do you deal with depression, which I shared because I did therapy, I did all of those things, I took drugs, but also how do you build a firm foundation for your mental and emotional health in a world that is crazy. I feel, I'm not on any social media and I still spend too much time on my phone. And I wonder about the people that are on social media. So how do you maintain your self-identity? No matter how crazy things have become. And how do you live a joyful life? Not happiness. You can get happiness by taking weed. That's fine to be happy. But how do you build an underlying joy that can hold you even when trouble comes? And for everybody, no matter how cool we are, no matter how young we are, no matter how whatever we are, no matter how it's not that deep we are, we all have trouble. Trouble will come. What will you do when trouble comes? That's it.
The most, I think one of the striking things of everything that you said so far has to be understanding the difference between your emotional state and your mental health. And I feel like I didn't come to that realization until you mentioned it.
Right,
and
right.
it just shows how much you can learn in the book. Because obviously I can see that was obviously highlighted in the book. And also like remedies to, solving your health, your mental, your mentality, everything in a way that will help you even overcome that period.
Yeah.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I need a copy.
Yes.
I need a copy.
I
Does it have pictures? I only read books.
see these old
I
man.
understand. So actually, so for people like kids, when we release the audio book or when we release the video book,
For people like me, I might challenge.
because, because you say you don't like books
I'm
now.
joking,
You
I'm
say you like picture books. Because I'm like, honestly, one of the speeches I gave last year, Jobberman, I said, I don't like the lies we tell young people. People tell me I'm not part of them. I don't like the lies they tell young people.
Yeah.
So they say readers are leaders. I'm like, what book did Kanye West read? Readers are leaders. Okay, have you ever heard Don Jazzy say, this is the book I read that helped me build Maven? It's BS. It has always been BS. But now, the BS now has evidence. I'm not like, readers are not leaders. Thinkers are leaders. Podcast listeners are leaders. Biography watchers are leaders. What books do is they just systematize knowledge. So anybody, if you had a grandmother who was great at systematizing her wisdom, every evening you sit down with her, you listen to her, you can be a leader from that. So I don't believe all of that. So you have to be a book. People take a lot of pictures with books.
Yeah.
Because they want to show that they are leaders. I'm like, there's no need for this.
This is what I read for you.
This is what I read for you. So that's why I did an audiobook and a video book. I'm like, there's no need for this pressure. We are in a different age. People can read in different.
However you want it, you must get this knowledge.
Audiobook. I always say this. My favorite book has like pictures.
Exactly. No,
it's like still like an artist, Austin Kleon. Yeah. So he has like diagrammatic, and it's not as hefty as this one.
Yes.
Like I've read it like 7 times. Like
Perfect.
So but then
I read a lot, but I don't even enjoy reading. I read because that's the best way that I assimilate information. Podcasts, knowledge podcasts I sleep off. Audiobooks I sleep off. The only way I can actually learn something is by having the book. But I hate reading. It's not an interest. It's not fun. For me, especially because I have mild ADHD. Yeah. So my mind is constantly So sometimes I have to read a page over and over again to get. So it's not fun. So if it's not fun, there's nothing to be ashamed of. That's one of the things I write in the book. Stop being ashamed of who you are. If you have H factor, carry it. If you can do something about it because it's so important to you, that's fine. But there's nothing intrinsically wrong with having a H factor. Yeah. Nothing wrong with being shy. Nothing wrong with liking sex. Nothing wrong with whatever it is that you do in your life. There's nothing wrong with how you are made. Do you understand? So that's why I quickly picked on that. This is part of me that's very serious. When you said picture book, because I'm like, even if some people only like picture books, who died and made people that like text king? What were they reading?
Actually, yeah. I wanted to ask you, did this depression phase give you because you talked about the kinds of questions you ask on your show, right? Did you, going into therapy, did it maybe affect like how you interact with your guests and all that?
But no, this depression was in 2016. So this was long before my show. Yeah. But what it did was that it helped me. That's why my show is the way it is. So the depression led me to with Chude. Because what happened was in the midst of it, I watched Oprah's show, not the main Oprah show, but Super Soul Sunday, which was, I said, I want to do a show. Like if a show could help me, then I want to do this kind of thing for Africa. That's how my show started. So what happens is that I write in my book, Tony Abraham, who is now about to make $1 billion on her film, came on my show and said, in 2017, because that's when I recorded my first season, and said she went to a hotel. She was feeling so sad and attacked that she went to a hotel to kill herself. And when she was saying the story, she was saying to me, do you understand? Do you understand? And I'm like, oh, my sister.
I understand.
Now, when people say why people cry on my show, I really had to stretch and think about it. I think that's why they cry. Because when you truly understand, the energy is different from if you're faking it. So I think that they can feel the emotion. I had an interview that went viral beginning of this year with Bimbo Thomas, the actor. And she was crying about the loss of her mother. And I was like, I will not cry on this show because it is not my tragedy. Why am I crying? I'm a professional. It's not every time you'll be crying. They will say it's fake tears now. But at some point, I felt it so deeply. I felt the sadness so deep. The energy of the sadness was so deep that I fell into tears. So the emotion, and this is why I say that's what one of the things I teach is when trouble comes, all of us are going to have trouble in this life. I say you cannot reject it in Jesus' name because Jesus Christ promised you trouble. He said in John 16:33, in this life you will have trouble. So being that we all know that trouble is going to come, what do we do with trouble when it comes? And that's part of what I teach in the book. So what I did is I asked myself, is there any positive I can take out of this trouble? And that positive became, because of that depression, I could start with Chude. Because of it, I could connect with my guests deeper than almost any other host. Because of it, I could write a best-selling book. So that is what that experience did. It made me understand my emotions deeply. So there was my partner, and I'm like, I'm feeling bored, but I'm also happy. And I wrote down, maybe this is what love is, to be bored together.
Yeah.
Before, most of us, when we are bored, we think we're unhappy. But boredom is not unhappiness. Boredom is boredom.
It's on its own.
You can be happy and bored. You can be unhappy and bored. So because of those experiences, I'm intimately familiar with emotion. And that's what has made the show what it is.
So for my first degree is in psychology. So I remember I learned, I can't remember what exactly it's called, but converting negative energy into some positive outcomes. Like, so it helps me, like, so for example, you had the depression and then just with Chude came about, right? And for me, it's, so for example, let me give an example. At work, my boss can be very like, oh, this, that. And
I hope he listens to this.
I mean, he listens to the podcast anyways. And then it took me, before, like when he shouts or something, like I will go, I'll be sad, I'll tell my friends what's going on. And I just realized that, like, I just take it as feedback, right? It makes me sad, but in that sadness, in that rage, let me actually do the work, right? Process what he said, and then do the work and bring out something positive. And it's a lot of people, I won't even just say Nigerians, like a lot of people
Across the world,
they don't know how to do that. Like they would be sad and then just
and take over their
and take
lives.
over. Exactly.
I always say depression is congealed unhappiness. When you leave a tin of milk and it congeals and it becomes spoiled. No, immediately you open the tin of milk, you close it back. So when you feel a negative emotion, tackle it before it congeals into something else. And tell me about psychology, because I mean, if I knew what I knew now, psychology would have been my first degree. I said that the solution, I spent a chapter explaining my simple solution to depression. I spent a chapter because it looks so simple. So I had to spend time showing people the research and using my experience. There's something in psychology called the triple A model. It's what you use for addiction, recovery. It's what you use for everything. It's awareness, acceptance, action. Let me tell you, every new book that is brought, Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, any book, they are all talking about awareness, acceptance, action. When you feel a negative emotion, ask yourself, what do I feel? Spend some, even if it's 2 minutes, what do I feel? As awareness, acceptance. Okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I already feel it. I already accept this situation. 3, what can I do with this situation? I cannot change the situation, but I can respond to it. That's the foundation of mental health. Anytime you skip a process, if you skip to acceptance without awareness, the emotion, as a David Kessler, emotions need motion. No, you have to acknowledge it first. If you move to action, that is why some people can. So I tell people, if you lose a loved one, cry. Because if you don't cry, you will cry in a place you don't expect. You will be in a board meeting, then you break into tears. Because the emotions cannot go. They have nowhere to go. They're still there. So you have to acknowledge awareness, acceptance. It's the foundation. It's so simple that we ignore it, but I do it every day.
And there was one time I studied on like emotional intelligence and even like harnessing your own emotion and other people's emotion. And obviously like emotional awareness is a very, very key part to it. And I even realized like, with my parents, I have two different, I have like they're very different. My mother and my father. My mother is the kind of person that like when she sits in the emotion, she will sit inside it well. And my father would obviously sit inside the emotions. But, like you said, my father is no matter the kind of problems, when I fail the uni, okay, you failed this time, how can we solve this issue? Okay, you failed this course before. Let's do lesson teacher. You get a lecturer from come and teach you, While my mother is one that she just suck into the emotions and everything. And I just realized, obviously I took that my father's always like, there's a problem now. the problem has come and gone.
Yes.
How can we solve it?
Yes.
That's literally how you should respond to things. Like that's my father's default to like responding to things. And obviously, like I took that into learning.
Yeah.
But my mother is the opposite of, she can even allow the emotion overwhelm her from that situation. She will sulk into it, and it just shows, like you said, like the next thing is responding. But then I just realized that like you actually need to. My father did not really do much of sulking into the emotion.
Yes.
But you can tell that this thing pained him.
Yes.
Well.
Yes.
He would just do his normal.
Yeah.
What's this thing? Just all those little things, but you just see that maybe that's the way of processing his own emotion. Or my mother is one of hey, and it just shows people different responses and different reactions.
And as always in life, the middle is where the magic is.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother is doing awareness, not acceptance, which is fine.
Yeah.
There's no judgment. Your dad is doing acceptance and action. Largely, that's why women this is the research, are more emotional, are happier than men.
Yeah.
That's why when a woman, when it's documented, if a wife dies before the husband is likely to die quickly after. But women can stay longer than the men. Because when women lose, traditionally, they emote. They discuss it with their friends. They go to church. They build support systems. But when the woman dies, the man keeps it in.
Yeah, he bottles up.
So this is documented. It's the rate of post-spousal demise or whatever they call it. It's because men don't. So your father will be effective in solving problems, but there will be a reduction. There will be an increase in emotional turmoil. Do you understand? Just because. But to be honest, if I was going to choose between the two, I'd choose action, because action at least will move to problem solving. But the balance is to have all three: awareness, acceptance, action. That's why I tell people, what is it that will make a federal minister unable to control himself with 100 cameras just because a young man insulted him? You think that this thing is only for young people. No, it's emotional turmoil. Because a person who has engaged their emotions, when you sit down, they'll be like, okay, I feel disrespected. But this is not the time to express it.
Express it, yeah.
I accept that there's nothing I can do. Any action I take in front of this camera is going to make this situation worse. Yes. You can even say, I'm going to show this boy later. If you're that kind of person. But that is a lack of emotional control. People have lost empires, businesses, because they were not familiar with their emotions. It's all over the place. I said that if you look at America's leaders, many of America's leaders are familiar with their emotions.
Yeah.
Let's leave Trump first. Obama wrote an entire book to struggle with his emotions, losing his dad. Dreams from My Father. George Bush, when he finished and had the whole issue in the Iraq War, he went into painting. Art is one of the therapies that I recommend when you're dealing with big conflicts or grief. Bill Clinton, I think, saw a therapist. His wife certainly saw one. When they were in the White House. Yeah. So none of us. You have to choose. I'm like, look. There's people like, it's all I need is money. I'm like, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Just know that you will be unhappy. And if that's a trade-off you are willing to make to focus on action without emotion, perfect. I have no judgment. Just be aware of this. And they're like, I like feeling my emotions. And I'd like, just be aware that you may be happy, but you'll not be able to afford a business class ticket. But the magic is to combine both. Be aware of your emotions, accept your emotions, and take action. It's really that simple. It
just reminded me of that. There was, I think, a US general or something. His wife died that morning, and he had to come and do his job. Yeah. And he just like, have you seen that video? Like, he just went with his emotion.
And that's why most vets in America has done the research, have PTSD, because the military training does not encourage awareness and acceptance. You follow the last order. Yeah. So you don't have time to process. So what happens is that they're constantly on the go. When they now get back home after the war, they have so many unprocessed emotions. And that's why mental health is free for vets in America, because they understand that, okay, we need to have people who don't need to process their emotions to fight wars. Or maybe we don't, but that's what they think that we have to do now. So how do we help them when for this thing that would cost? So even soldiers have to process their emotions.
Because, it's true. Because, like I said, I kind of like did like a research, like just trying to learn about emotional intelligence. And those were some of the components, in terms of like emotional awareness, harnessing your own emotions. There's so many times that there's so many times where there's so many situations that will need you to bring some certain emotions from you. But then there are times where you would understand your own emotions and just prevent or predict this is how I would react to this situation, emotionally. So I feel like those are things that people need to understand from with themselves. And at the end of the day, all of these things circle back to your emotional states and how are you feeling at that. I think when you go to therapists, they'll ask you, Chude, how are you feeling today? They would ask you, what are your emotions? Or how did you feel about this situation?
Yes.
Or even in communicating with your partner, what you did made me feel this way. And it just shows like so many people don't sit down in their heads. There's sometimes like there are some times where like you would be so detrimentally hurt by a situation or by someone that you just want to react, And it's all about reaction and action, and you wouldn't even sit down and actually embody that hurt before even reacting or even making any action or whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people don't understand some of these things.
Yes.
And I think it's something that we should all learn from.
We have to. I feel so many of us have hurt, traumatized fathers. When last did anybody ask our fathers, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? They're even in the stage now where we have fathers are feeling this where they should cope with it because mothers have been feeling it for a long time. So, but fathers are feeling unappreciated because young kids are waking up and saying, providing is not enough. And the father is like, I gave up so many opportunities to be able to provide. I killed my emotions. I did a job I hated to be able to provide. Even that means nothing. So all that anger with Nigerian men and African men and father, all that authority they want to impose on you, it's unprocessed emotions. Hard guy, but they go club for night. What are you going there to do if it's not to process your emotions? It's to sit down and think over a bottle of beer. How do I feel about that? It's all that. So it's like all of us process emotion. Can you do it healthily? That's what's happening. So many of our fathers, I feel compassion for fathers. So many of our fathers who are not even emotionally equipped to take care of children, who had children because society expected them
to have kids.
People who do not know how to spell monogamy and monogamous relationships, punishing themselves and their partners because they didn't sit down and think to themselves, what kind of emotional life do I have? Is this a match for me? Does she handle my emotions? Am I a match for her? There's so much. We are moving around this country with emotionally damaged people. And they think that because they say... So sometimes I sent somebody a message, I said, I had a book, how many person? He said, my sympathies. I said, it's my sympathy for you because you don't even know that you need to engage your emotions. So we think it's hard guy or hard girl to not engage your emotions. But no, your enjoyment of life is reduced because you don't know how to engage.
And there was actually a very popular person that went on a show sometime last year. So like it was, there were two, let me call them influencers or prominent people, and then the interview and the conversation was on men's mental health. And like one of them was really saying like, as in like, what are we doing here? Like as a man, what are you talking? And then the other guy was like, nah man, I'm off the show. Like what? Because like,
but that actually happened.
Yeah, actually, like he walked out, like the other guy walked out because the guy who was saying that mental health should not be a conversation for men, he was a bit disrespectful because he was like, if you're a man talking about mental health, you're a woman. And the other guy was like, I can't be on this table. Like, it's not
okay.
It's not possible. It's not possible. He walked out because a lot of Nigerian men wouldn't accept this. Like, I know a time in my life where I'm very sure like my dad was not in a good mental state. Like I could even me and my brother had conversations about this. And we knew what was happening around that time. It was lockdown, things were slow and everything you get. But like him, when you try to have a conversation like daddy was on, he'll just be like maybe he would switch to football conversation or something. And it's just like that for a lot of Nigerian men. And also that thing you said about Nigerian men not or fathers not getting that appreciation. It's real.
Mothers, women, and again, this has been tracked. Women have so much because of the oppression from men in history. Women learn to build emotional resilience. They learn to build whisper networks. They learn to build social community. They learn to talk to each other. And so that has led over time to better mental health for women than men. And the men don't know. They think that they are enjoying meanwhile they are suffering. They are dying earlier. They are dropping dead. They are leaving school. They are resentful because of social changes. There's nobody. Look, even even the richest man in the world took ketamine to make himself feel better. There's no, because this is how we are made.
Yeah.
We have emotion. There's nothing we can do about it.
It's a normal human vulnerability.
You have to accept it. I'm not saying you should be crying up and down, be vulnerable everywhere, and be telling. I'm not saying you should write a book. Just engage your emotion. People, you know the amount of shame people have? Again, these same Nigerian songs. Oh, she broke my, she did this. It's because we are feeling shame. You thought that because you are poor, you are worth nothing. Do you understand? Meanwhile, there are people who are poor and they know they are worth something.
Yeah.
You keep rushing, making more money, hoping that more money is going to feel
Make
that
you happy.
oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel. Then one day your wife will talk to you and say, that's rubbish. You'll be like, hey, after all this money I've made, after all this fame,
You can talk to me
you
like
can talk
that.
to me like that. It's because you have unprocessed emotions.
Yeah.
First of all, she should leave because you're obviously not okay. But no, that's not leaving. If you leave, if it becomes violent or whatever. But it's because the man hasn't engaged his lack of confidence, his insecurities, his disappointment. He's heard from his father. They never told him they loved him or said it in a way that he would understand. He felt abandoned by his parents. You know, all kinds of things. We're working. Let's say Nigeria's leaders have been a procession of broken men. We're all here.
Thank you so much. Chude.
That got serious fast.
so serious. So serious.
I mean, it was a needed conversation. It just shows you what you can get from How Depression Saved My Life book. And where can they find the book?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
See, this is why I had to do podcasts, because people thought it wasn't out yet because I've not done any book launch.
Yeah.
So it's out on Roving Heights, is popular bookstore. So it's out on all of them.
Roving Heights.
Even though it has been selling out, which I'm so happy about. So people call, I cannot find it. I'm like, God, to God be the glory. But if you don't find it in any bookstore, it's always available on my website, book.withchude.com. And globally, it's available on Amazon and on Kindle.
So that's perfect.
Yeah.
We have a little segment that we do. We call it How Nigerian Are You? But before we get to that segment, we need to tell you guys to join our WhatsApp channel. Join our WhatsApp channel. Our WhatsApp channel is just where you can get like updates. You know, you can get back day-to-day Isaac and I's day-to-day activities. You know, just little information and outside information. You know, we already have about over 100 people there already, but then we just started the WhatsApp channel just for you guys to just be closer to us, see what's our daily life like. But yeah, you guys should make sure you join. And we have a segment, we call it How Nigerian Are You? So we essentially ask you questions between two options and then you just answer.
I've been waiting to do it.
In a quick fire one. Delete one forever. Jollof rice or fried rice?
Fried rice.
Ah.
What are we going to do with that jollof rice?
True, Sha. It's part of Nigerian identity.
Yeah.
True. Coffee or tea?
Tea. I've never tasted coffee, man. I've only tasted coffee once. I didn't like it.
Are you serious?
Never since then, never.
Very big
I'm
coffee
a hot
person.
chocolate person, though.
Oh, okay.
So that's
okay.
my coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Confronting issues or
We already know this one. We already know the answer.
Confronting issues.
We already know the answer.
Even though I am naturally an avoider.
We already know the answer. Delete one social media. Instagram, X, or WhatsApp.
All of them. But I would first delete WhatsApp.
WhatsApp?
Yes.
delete WhatsApp.
Why?
I don't even
that's...
have WhatsApp.
Are you
I've
sure?
already deleted WhatsApp. So it's not even a theory. I'm not on WhatsApp.
So how do you
communicate?
Text message, that thing in the phone where you send somebody green message, person sends you a green message, I do it and I'm on Apple, so if you're on iMessage, we're good. I can't do WhatsApp.
Okay.
I'm an introvert, I'm an extreme introvert. I can't cope. I have anxiety.
That text message. So, hey, yes. 4 naira. How are you? 4 naira.
So yes, I'm not. So I actually got, for my friends, and I had to get a compromise. For those that don't have iPhones, and I got on Telegram.
Okay. And Telegram is not that serious.
Yes, not that, but I can't do. So I've already deleted WhatsApp.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it's WhatsApp.
That's interesting. What's your Nigerian hot take? Like, when you just think that, just hot take, basically.
A Nigerian hot take. A lot of people on Nigerian social media who speak with great confidence are talking absolute rubbish.
Give example.
I can never know now. I can never know.
This is a safe space.
Two of you alone are a safe space. Something that would be, let me tell you, when I started doing my show, I stopped doing speaking engagements for like 4 years. I said I'm not doing. I'm tired of talking. All the ones I've said in the past, they're enough. But the part of why I just chose to come and talk for my book, he said, I'll be in my room. I'll be like, but that's rubbish now. But that's nonsense now. I saw a post, somebody posted something and a young woman wrote, if I'm in labor I will never allow a male doctor. So someone now said, this is how you know a woman who has never been in labor. Because when you are in such excruciating mind-numbing pain, you're not going to select gender. So it's just like, and they'll say the confidence. And I love, there's a quote that says, the wise are full of caution and the foolish have no doubt. The way they will say it, it's just like, and young people are, that's my whole thing. Like this one, we can do an entire podcast on all the foolish things I see on social media. If you work for somebody, you can never be a billionaire. Meanwhile, the people on the top 100 Forbes, at least 24 of them were employees.
Yes.
Steve Ballmer, who was Bill Gates' first employee, is a billionaire.
They'll say 95 is a killer of dreams.
I'm telling you, I'm just saying it's true. That's my Nigerian hot take. I'm tired. I swear to God, they start regulating podcasts.
I know the thing. I know the thing. Everything is all about delivery. Like there's just a way people deliver the message.
Yes.
We think they're making
I'm
sense.
telling you, there's a church thing. I don't want to call this name. There's a church festival that just happened. I was listening to one pastor with confidence spewing dust. And then the church was like, I'm just like, no, that's not what that verse actually says in Hebrew. Who is going to tell these poor guys? Oh my Jesus.
And that's one time
I'm tired.
One time I learned about I was like, because I watch TikTok videos on all these self-improvement. I have a TikTok. So I'm like, I was watching a video about communication, delivery. It's like the way we can take this book now, keep inside dustbin, and you think the price is 500 naira. But then we can take this book, keep inside museum, and tell you it's 10 million naira. You think it's 10 million.
Yeah.
It's the same way people can communicate. It's like the way they'll deliver information to you. They'll just sit down, realize background like this, one kind of nice Airbnb, deliver nonsense to you.
Yes.
And then you just because of how they branded
it and the retweets down.
Deliver this.
Yeah, once you see the number, the person has this are like.
If it's sometimes it cannot be wrong. That is actually when. Let me tell you, I lost 15 kg. So I lost 15 kg between 2020 and 2023 without going to the gym. And they had not brought Ozempic at the time. What I realized is that I stopped and I said, I'll be dying it. I hate the gym. I hate the gym. I'm like, if going to the gym is what's going to take off this pouch, then we're going to be at peace with it for the rest of our lives. I hate the gym, but I was going to the gym. And one day I started weird. I'm like, but I'm not losing any weight. So I actually went and studied, went and read the research, the meta-analysis. I looked at all the things. I'm like, okay, so this is just the food. What kind of foods do I like? And I redesigned with a coach's advice my entire diet. My entire diet. I had somebody that tweeted, I know him is my friend, you that you are trying to lose weight and you are running for 30 minutes, you are not yet serious with your life. I remember that thing was stamped in my head. But I lost in 3 years 13 kg without hitting the gym. Now, the way I'm saying this thing, there are some people that as I hearing this, they'll be like, because they've heard it so much.
Yeah.
So much that it's like, no, but the thing that makes you add or lose weight is food. Exercise makes you healthy. Exercise makes you well-shaped. Food is the culprit. To lose 1 calorie, you need to do X number of miles. It is not the sustainable way. It is not even news. I'm not even talking about news. This is not hidden science. So biologists, nutritionists, they all know this. But on social media, you see people post it. And it's like, that's fine if you want to shape your body. But if you want to lose weight, it's a loser's game. Even making money. Everything people told me about making money are wrong. If you don't build a house, let's just leave it. We can finish. Let's just leave it.
Man, it was so fun and nice having you here.
Fun to be here.
And thank you guys. You guys should make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out his book. And make sure you listen to with Chude. People crying on this. People crying.
And once in a while we laugh.
And they laugh as well. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you share this episode to your depressed brother.
Yes.
Make sure you share this episode to your friends, your family, your sister, everybody. And we'll be back next week, Monday. See you guys next week.
Bye, guys.